I'm gonna go ahead and chicken wing, you feel me?
Shame on you!
Well, it's been a little over a week since my video of EDP 445 is back on Instagram. And since then, his Instagram, the OG EDP 445, is still alive and active. Like how? I honestly don't know how his Instagram hasn't been removed yet, when it must have received a couple of reports. I really don't know how the Instagram guidelines work, and from what I heard, it's kind of bipolar, at least more than YouTube's. The one thing I can see why he hasn't been removed from Instagram is because he hasn't actually broken any guideline rules, which could be the reason why Instagram is just sweeping this under the rug, for now at least. Right now, I would like to say something straight. If I didn't mention my last video on EDP, is I wasn't much of an EDP fan. I did like the memes people made on him for his unfiltered personality before his fateful encounter with Further Poachers and CC Unit. Anyway, since my video on EDP, a few things has happened. For starters, a big event occurred. This guy EDP finally opened his comments on Instagram, and as you can probably imagine, it received a lot of backlash, as well as a small few who felt bad for him after everything that has happened to him. But tell me, does this latest post here of EDP seem like we should feel sorry for him for what he did? And may I add, he has never owned up to his mistakes for meeting up with a 13-year-old girl for other motives than having a cupcake. Saying that, let's go over some comments people have left on his Instagram posts. There's a lot of them, but I'll go over some of the good ones here. And oh yeah, because these comments were posted on his Instagram, I will make sure to cover all their names and photos out of respect for these individuals, whatever their comments may be. So with that said, let's go over these comments, shall we? The first comment I'll take a look here is this one. I can just imagine what would happen if he actually got accepted into Chuck E. Cheese. Okay, here's my thoughts on this comment right here. When I first heard the news and rumors that EDP 445 submitted an application that he wanted to work in Chuck E. Cheese, I couldn't help but think that this couldn't be real. There's no way EDP, no matter his financial situation may have been back then, that he was all for it to work in Chuck E. Cheese. I mean, I couldn't believe there's no way this guy EDP was this desperate to work there. Thank God whoever was a hiring manager didn't approve of this. What was EDP's thought process? That would be a good idea for someone like him to work in Chuck E. Cheese, which is an attraction for kids. And again, God bless the hiring manager, as he or she prevented a scenario way worse than a Five Nights at Freddy's incident from happening. And yes, to this day, I still somewhat can't process EDP willing to work at Chuck E. Cheese. It makes my head hurt thinking about it, so let's move on. In this next comment here, we see someone asking EDP why you like kids, which is a good question, and my answer to that is he's a sick person, sick in the head. I don't know exactly what triggered his brain to make it seem okay to get attached to a 13-year-old. I honestly wouldn't know because I'm not like that. I like women my own age, and that's really all I have to say. On to the next comment, EDP likes kids, which is a no-brainer. Let's move on. The next comment here says, EDP, why are you so obsessed with cupcakes? This comment right here is another good question. When himself EDP said in the video that he doesn't really like cupcakes, so all of a sudden why the sudden change of taste last year? Was it because EDP liked cupcakes that have aged 13 years? I guess we'll never know if EDP prefers cupcakes or 13-year-olds. It's definitely up there in one of the world's unanswered questions. That said, there are other comments here of people giving positive comments to EDP that he's back and he's their guy, whatever. Now, I'm going to give it benefit of doubt that these people commenting below are just random people messing around being sarcastic. That and maybe his young, impressionable, edgy audience are glad he's back making content. There's probably a few who really think that, but you know what to say. There is someone out there for everyone. Speaking of which, just one person here asked EDP for an autograph, and this guy EDP replies, sure, I got you, lol. Under that, you see the hilarious replies, with one person saying, can I get one for my little sister? And we see another one here, do you get the cupcakes the day of April? Man, this guy can't catch a break at all. On to the next entry here, EDP posted this interesting image here of EDP showing off this photo of his handprint back then in the 3rd grade. And wow, the comments under that post did not hold back in the slightest. Nah, this ain't your hand, that's your girlfriend's hand. Man posted a picture about the grade that his girlfriend's in. Bro reminiscing about something else in 3rd grade. Yeah, I could see that. I could probably tell that EDP was probably bullied in the 3rd grade. And to get back at his bullies, he probably sat on them and used his big hands to pin them down to insert his dominance, if I should say. But let's be real, this guy is an empty eggshell with no good personality but a crappy one that makes him feel like he's the guy that everyone wants to hang out with. But he's not, he's a loser and a pedo. With that in mind, we have finally come to the few comments regarding EDP's allegations. you just gonna act like getting caught in 4K didn't happen? Where's the apology, my guy? Are you going to address the allegations and you getting caught, or are you just gonna act like it didn't happen? These comments receive a lot of likes and attention, but yet EDP, being EDP, doesn't address these comments or even mentions about it in his story or post that he's sorry. No. Instead of doing so, he posted this. It ain't shit to me, homie. Y'all can keep talking shit, and I can't keep on blocking you, motherfucker. Pissed me off bad enough, I'll disable these comments again. You see how remorseless and unapologetic this guy is? I can't believe that people look up to this guy. And if you're one of those people who still support him or feel he should deserve a second chance, tell me, will you give someone a second chance if they act and respond like this? No way. For someone to even have a slim chance of a second chance for something he has done, he needs to express that he's in the wrong and feels god awful for his actions. But instead, he decides to keep wearing that fake tough guy persona. Sorry, but in my opinion, EDP shouldn't have Instagram for acting like this. There's already a lot of creeps on the internet, and seeing what EDP has said, he's no different than those who likes kids. I was never really much of a fan of his, so I don't care for those who root for this guy to relish on his return to the internet. And of course, like if only he is once again disabling his comments on all his Insta posts, and still no apology for his commitment to go after a 13-year-old girl. And if you don't remember, EDP threatened this little girl if this was a sting operation, and mentioned that if it was the case, things wouldn't be pretty. Knowing EDP, he could have done the worst to this girl if it was an actual girl. On top of that, it does look pretty when most of us know that EDP is a firearms owner. He could have done the unimaginable to this poor girl if she was an actual real girl. Whether or not he knew that, EDP decided to go through with this, even if he was entrapped or not, because the predator portraits texted him first. EDP, by his own will, continued the talks and got sexual with the decoy. He could have ignored her and went on with his life, making a living off YouTube and other online incomes, but he didn't. And being lonely is an excuse when this is the same guy who, whenever he talks about people, even to his own fans, to go get some pussy, which is something this guy doesn't get. Overall, EDP445 doesn't deserve to be forgiven by his followers, or by anyone for that matter. Everyone knows what he did, and it seems he won't ever say sorry ever. I mean, you already saw it in his own post. He just doesn't care. He said it from his own statement. It doesn't mean anything to him. It just goes to show you how vile EDP445 is, and it's gonna let this whole thing slide as if no one's gonna remember it. But hey, it's not that surprising, because EDP will go back to his own ways of making content just now on Instagram up until his Instagram gets suspended, which is probable. When that happens, or if something occurs that's worth talking about, I'll keep you guys updated on it. And with that said, I'm gonna end my video here. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you do, please give this video a like. And if you want, consider subscribing to this channel for more commentary content. Follow my Twitter and Instagram down in the description below. See you soon on my next video, and later everyone. AKIP is leaving the building.